Whoa, 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 whoa. No. No. Hard pass. No. None of that. Generic Control in the Duck Goose. We're back with another Five Nights at Freddy game theory video. Today we have the final theory, which I do not believe because there's a lot more videos to come. And yes, I was just kind of like not even looking at those thumbnails to avoid spoilers. You can check out last week's video, which wasn't a theory video, but it was the YouTube Red series that had Matt Patton in it. What was it called? Game Theory? It wasn't Game Theory. It was Game Lab, which if you could survive Five Nights at Freddy's in real life, I'll leave it right up there if you can check that out. Also, give a link down below in the description. Also going to be in a playlist on my channel with all of my other game theory FNAF videos. You can check those out. But today we have the final theory, which I'm not really sure because the game has changed so much. I think we're on sister location, which is the 5th game, and there's a lot of games. Is there how many games more are there? I think there's at least 7, right? There's probably more than that. There's more books than games at this point, which patrons get these videos there early. They allow them to not pay one channel. This entire series was started because Ark Greenwolf, or whatever your name is now, because I know you changed it, it was Mechatar, requested it every single day for 370 days. So I finally gave it. It was like, let me start it, and now it is one of my most popular series that I'm doing on my channel. So thank you so much for the support you've shown in these videos. Like I said, patrons get the videos there early. Literally $3 a month get you all of my reaction videos there early. $3 a month, and I'm doing this week. I'm going to be doing at least 18, maybe 18, probably 19, maybe 20 videos on across all my channels this week, and I do it all myself, and I couldn't do it without my patrons. I read every single one of your comments, leave them down below. Hope you had a wonderful day. Let's go ahead and jump into the final theory, though. All right.
Why, with enough belief, you could even cheat death itself.
Oh, can you? I don't like that. Death itself. Death.
You know, it really is uncanny how these two games overlap.
What? Wait, was that Bending the Ink Machine or something like that? I've never seen it. That's not a generic intro right there. With the song, not a generic intro at all.
Welcome to the 200th episode of Game.
And it has how many views?
Technically, it's the 201st
13.
and a half episode because we had a mini theory way back on the channel a long time ago. That's
Does
now
that count?
prohibited
That counts
because
as a
of
video.
reasons. And then technically, the Bendy episode last week was the 200th episode, but I thought this felt more appropriate because it's solving FNAF with one final mega theory. So
That's
the
what's probably not going to be
200th
right.
episode of
Sponsored.
Game Theory. Proud members of the Pink Guy Truthers Club.
Pink
Now,
Guy?
for those of you who
I thought it was
don't know,
Purple
one of the
Guy.
longest held debates in FNAF theorydom is whether this murderer watching children die is the same as this murderer
What?
watching
Oh, there's
children
multiple purple
die.
guys,
Because of their different
isn't there?
colors, they became
Purple
Guy and Pink
Okay.
Guy. The two most threatening colors. Taste the rainbow, slaughter the
No, I'm not wearing a pink
Anyway,
shirt
since
today.
FNAF 2, I
I
have been
did early.
opposed to this theory, and I can now confirm it is dead. Like a
What is
child
dead?
wanting a mediocre
Who is
slice
that?
of overpriced pizza.
I haven't had pizza in
dead.
over 6 years now.
Which is dead. One look at Scott's new strategy guide for the series, The Freddy
Strategy guide,
Files,
what?
confirms
The Freddy
it.
Files?
Page
Is that another
48,
book?
When describing
Yeah.
the Foxy Go minigame from FNAF 2, quote, Purple Guy is visible in the lower left corner of the room. There it is,
Purple
clear
guy.
as
Purple
crystal.
guy.
Purple Guy in the corner. Now
Okay.
comes the super awkward question that I never thought I'd
That's-
have to answer.
but I thought it was
Which
Pink Guy.
Purple Guy?
Yeah,
'Cause there's
'cause that-
two now, and if you didn't know
that
that,
character looks like
strap in.
Pink
It is
Guy's
gonna be a
model.
long episode. FNAF as a franchise has always been defined by questions. What was the missing
Yeah.
children's incident? Who is Purple Guy?
Who's
What's
Pink
the
Guy?
deal with Balloon Boy?
I don't like
Seriously,
him.
What is the deal
I
with
d-
Balloon
he
Boy?
likes
By
batteries.
FNAF 4, the games had just become a mire of unanswered questions where it was becoming harder and harder.
I've
to
only
tell
replayed the
difference
first
between
game.
A withered Freddy, a phantom Freddy, and a nightmare Freddy, let alone a golden Freddy versus a golden Fredbear. Fazbear Frights, Fazbear Pizzas, Fazbear
Yep.
Entertainment,
Yep.
Fredbear Diners,
Yep.
Fredbear and Friends, Missing Children, Crying Children, and bites from pretty much every decade. Then came
Is that
Sister Location,
Mis-
where
her-
between
Mr.
the butter
Satan?
and bongos, theorists, myself included,
Oh,
struggled to
God.
try and fit
Exotic
together
butter.
a story told by animatronics that lie,
Oh,
hand
there's
units
baby.
that lie, animatronics that fuse with other
I don't like that
animatronics, and
one.
animatronics that fuse together with humans, who then become purple and immortal.
So are they like a
Needless to
parasite,
say,
maybe?
It was a lot.
It
For
could
me,
be.
what
It could be
became the scariest
Parasite.
part of FNAF wasn't the jump scares, it was the lore. So you can
Well, I
understand
didn't know
why
about
when
the
novels
lore.
came out and offered what seemed to be simpler solutions, I hopped aboard.
And
I started
apparently
looking
there's a
for
movie
more
coming out.
streamlined solutions within their pages, hunting for clues to the games in a place where they didn't
Do I
exist,
react
but
to
kind
that
of
movie?
looked like they exist and
Or
probably
just, like,
should have
not show
existed
it,
but
but just
didn't
react to it?
exist. And the only thing I accomplished in the process was making things more complicated. So in all the time that FNAF 6 has been percolating in the back of Scott's mind brain, I've thrown out everything that I thought I knew about this series, and
Yeah?
I've gone back to doing what I do
What are
best.
those things
Darn
called?
it.
That's the way you do
Basic
math.
counting. 1 Freddy button, 2 2 Freddy buttons.
Really? Are we gonna count
1
fingers?
Foxy toe, 2 Foxy toes. Only this time, I was aided by knowledge of where the series was headed, as well as Scott's
How?
latest release, The Freddy Files. It's a book that
It
many
is a
others
book. Of course
dismissed
it
as
is.
merely an elongated strategy guide to the games, but to me,
Oh,
it
is
was
it?
invaluable at filtering down years worth of lore into the
Well,
details
he
that
gave you
Scott
more
himself
information.
deemed as the most important to focus on. And this entire
You know?
process of starting at square
Like,
one
it's
helped me to see
some...
connections I'd
It's
never made before,
black and white
enabling me to
information.
create the
I gotta
thing
sneeze.
was most
Ah,
scared
pomegranate.
of. A timeline.
I failed.
A series of events that explain key breadcrumbs that
2023?
Scott has
What?
left for us along the way. And the more I looked, the more it all started to make sense.
Wait a
And that's
minute,
the plan for this
2023?
video, and spoiler alert, the next video, to create a final definitive
Which will be out next week.
lore-based theory
Hope
on
you're
the
subscribed so you don't miss
insanity
it.
that is
Like
FNAF.
7% of you
Putting
are
to
not.
rest the key lingering questions in the first 5 entries of this franchise and opening the door for Scott to usher in FNAF 6.
Yes.
Since at this point we all know he's just waiting for us to solve the previous games before he releases the new one.
I don't
right?
think-
Come
no,
to think
no,
of it,
no, he's
maybe
not.
I
Either-
shouldn't
no, he-
finish
no.
this theory. Now, while I could
Scott
rattle
got
off
sad.
hexadecimal color codes and animatronic design features to painfully hammer out the timeline inch by inch, no one cares. Trust me, I know I wrote 2 other versions of this script where I did exactly that, and both of
it
them
was bad.
sucked. I was boring and confusing myself. It gets way too convoluted way too quickly when you dive into the details. But when I took a step back, I realized that the best way to understand FNAF at this point in history
He's losing
is to
his
know that
mind.
it's not a story about
He
a
wrote
haunted
2 other scripts.
pizzeria. It's the story of a family. Meet the Aftons, a perfectly normal family of 5, father, daughter, son, older brother, and mother. And the
Okay, I'm not
secrets
sure
of
why the
Fazbear
older brother counts as,
timeline
like,
are
the
actually
family
buried
there.
in the fates of each one of these characters. We begin with William Afton, the original purple guy, the father,
Yeah.
the one who starts
Which one
this
looks
whole
like, Rick
timeline with
Astley?
a story that's all too familiar to us by this point. He starts killing kids at bear-themed pizza restaurants. It starts back in the 70s.
Huh.
Should have given him a big purple afro there, Scott. FNAF 2 flashes us back to these
In the
origins,
70s.
showing us
Oh,
Purple Guy's
yikes.
first victim at Fredbear's Family Diner before flashing forward
So
to show
why,
another
though?
5
What is his
victims
motive?
of the
Just
Purple
he
Guy
likes
in the
killing
FNAF
people?
2 location, and potentially yet another 5 victims in the FNAF 1 location. And he would have gotten away with it too
If
if
it
it
wasn't
weren't for
for-
those meddling kids.
And probably the
Literally,
puppet
because his
or something
victims
like that.
refuse to stay dead. The soul of the first child enters the puppet, who then gives
Get
life
out
to
of
the other
here.
children
Jesus
by
Christ,
preserving
y'all
their
know you do
spirits
not
in
like
the
the
bodies
puppet.
of the other Fazbear animatronics. Give gifts, give life. We've all known this for years, and Scott even confirmed it, but we had to start somewhere since this is where the story begins.
Game Theory did an
But where
incredible
the story
video.
heads
That's
to next
that's a
might
crazy
surprise you.
moment when the
Sister
game creator
location. More
like
specifically,
notices you by
the
name and watches your
mini-games from
videos.
Sister Location, where we meet Afton's adorable green-eyed daughter.
Adorable?
No name. Doesn't help
No
that
name?
none of these characters have a name. You see, old Billy Afton isn't content with manually killing kids anymore. He's busy figuring out new ways to mass murder the youth of this nation, and he does what any good business owner ought to do: outsources it to the machines. He designs a series of fun-time animatronics with
they don't
features
look very
specifically
fun.
made for luring and capturing kids. We can see it
Yeah,
on their
yeah.
blueprints: parental tracking, grouping,
Parental
deter
tracking.
and misdirect, parental
What if they didn't go with
voicing, and
parents?
once again,
What if
he
they went with,
would have gotten away with
like,
it
a
too
friend's
if
parents?
it weren't for those meddling kids. Or kid, in this case. His own daughter, in fact, who is so excited by the circus baby animatronic
That she also
she
gets
ignores her
captured.
father's warnings to stay away from it and falls victim
Yoink!
to the claw.
Got
True
him.
FNAF fashion, she done gets herself scooped, goes on to
Scooped.
possess Circus Baby, and that
Got
causes
scooped.
the eye color of Baby to shift from blue
To
to
green.
green. The tragedy
And
results
then
in the spin-off restaurant Circus
kills her
Baby's
father.
Pizza World closing down in one day. The day it opens, and the fun times get stored as
They
the
lasted
trailers
one
say,
day.
deep below
This way you
ground,
have soft
where
openings.
memories sleep, just waiting for the day that they become rentals, one Afton down. Now, before we kill off the next
Okay.
Afton child, let's rewind a minute to
What about the
explain why
wife?
Afton's daughter getting turned into human Froyo goes here. Since this is a
Human
pretty extreme break
Froyo.
from how most people understand the FNAF timeline. Evidence the first, not only do we see the animatronics actively moving around their respective galleries, but their luring and capturing features were built with the specific
Wha-
intention of them acting as free-roaming robots. Something that
They're
we
literally
know
just
was
out there
phased
grabbing
in the
kids.
aftermath of the bite of '87. We also know that this incident happens before Springlock suits get decommissioned. On night
Oh.
4 of Sister Location,
Are
Baby
you
traps
anima-
you inside a Springlock suit and says this.
You're inside something that came from my old pizzeria.
Old.
I don't think it was ever used. At least not the way it was meant to be used.
I don't
So Circus
like the way
Baby and
she's
Pizzeria
talking.
were from a time before the
Unfortunate incident at the sister location involving multiple and simultaneous
Multiple and
prompted
simultaneous.
all spring locks to be banned, aka the bite of 83.
Yes.
More on that whole thing
Chomp.
in a minute. But perhaps the biggest clues to the timeline placement of the baby incident come from FNAF 4, what most of us
What?
have considered the first game in the timeline, where the crying child gets bitten at his birthday party while
Yes.
psychic friend Fredbear,
Psych-
he's here,
Yeah,
he's
I knew
there,
he was gonna play the song
everywhere.
every time.
Who you gonna call? Psychic friend Fredbear.
It's the same
Promises
take.
to put him back together. Throughout the game,
It's literally
the
just
crying
a
child,
clip that he has that he
Afton's
just puts in the
youngest son,
video.
keeps hearing the words, "Remember what you saw."
It has a different
Repeated
font color.
over and over to him. When the game first came out, the best I could do was speculate about what this was referring to, but now I think we have our answer.
And what would that be?
This moment, his sister getting scooped. The crying
He
child
witnessed
saw
his sister
this
getting
happen,
scooped?
thus prompting his fear of
What?
animatronics. And we know he saw it through one crucial design
So he's the
detail
witness.
that's got included. Look at how this kid's nightmares of Fredbear materialize.
Oh, it has a
The
mouth.
stomach mouth. It's a design detail that we all overlooked, but there it is, positioned in the exact same way that baby rips in
Because
half
that's
to
his own,
clog
like,
Rip Afton's
in his
daughter.
mind,
It's how
that's
a
when he
child
made.
would perceive that incident. And
Yeah.
that's not all. It also explains why the Afton home has an empty girl's room in it. Something
Well, yeah,
that Scott
yeah.
clearly thought was important for us to see. So why is it empty? Because the sister
'Cause
is
the
gone.
sister got
She's
scooped.
dead. She's a victim of William's sloppy kidnapping scheme.
Just to be clear, I know a previous theory said this girl was baby, but she's not. It was a predictive theory based on visual similarities that didn't pan out. In sister locations,
Oh,
Scott very
oh,
clearly showed us that Afton's daughter doesn't wear her hair in pigtails and has a different color of hair than the pigtail girl in FNAF 4. And
Oh,
we all know how picky Scott
okay.
is about colors. At
Yeah,
least at this
yeah,
point
he
in the
is.
series. He learned his lesson after the whole pink guy thing.
That's not all. Ballora also
What
gives us
was
an
that
interesting
picture?
perspective as we move on to the next
And who
member
is she
of the
supposed to
Afton
be?
Clan. Here's a big question
Is
that
that the
no one's
wife?
thought to ask about this series yet.
Did you notice
The
Family and
mother,
the Robots?
Mrs. Afton,
Hey, Daenerys.
where is she? I mean, don't
Daenerys
get me wrong,
Stormborn,
adoption
House
is a great
Targaryen,
thing, but something
first of her
tells me
name,
that
Mother of
Slick Willy
Dragons,
over
Breaker
here
of
isn't the
Chains.
single father of 3 type. It was a question that I had never considered until the answer practically slapped me in the face while I was reading the Freddy Files. On page
Imagine knowing how to read.
127, Scott draws a
127, favorite number
very
27.
clear contrast between Funtime Freddy's voice system and the one belonging to Baby and Ballora. Quote, Funtime Freddy's audio seems pre-recorded and relates to kids and birthday parties, unlike Ballora and Circus Baby's audio, which is more complex.
Which means it
It's an
probably
interesting
is
detail
based
for
off of a
Scott to
person,
specifically
maybe.
Call out that I honestly never considered. Ballora is much more aware of her surroundings,
She is?
responding in real time to movement in her chamber
It
and
do
not
what?
seeming to rely
Apparently you
on
have to do
pre-recorded
task
lines
high.
with more rudimentary animatronics.
And it sounds like an older woman.
It seems like
Sounds
more
like the
than just
mom.
a coincidence that the only other robot possessing this level of speech ability is the one that we know has Afton's daughter inside of her. Up until
Yeah.
now, we've all been quick to write off Ballora as just this weird Rule 34 bizarre new addition to the animatronic
Why?
roster. But
Why?
is it
Why do we
possible
have to
that she
do
has
that?
a bigger part in this story than we all realized? This
Is that the
far from
mom?
speculation. Another major clue hides in the song that she sings, one that Scott draws particular
Mm-hmm.
attention to in her character profile in Freddy Files. The lyrics go,
Why do you hide inside your walls when there is music in my halls?
I don't like it.
All I see is an
Like
empty
things that are
room.
like sang in this tone.
No
it's just very
more
spooky.
joy, an empty tomb.
Empty tomb.
It's so good to sing all day, to dance, to spin, to fly away.
this reference to an empty tomb devoid of joy resembling a vacant tomb is
What?
the same sort of language you would hear from a parent who had just lost a child, with the child's
Oh?
bedroom acting as a sort of tomb reminding them of their loss. Could it be that this song is referencing the daughter's
Maybe?
empty
I
room
could
that we just
believe
talked about
this.
from FNAF 4?
So like I said,
if
it is the
that's
mother.
case, does that make Ballora's
I don't think
true
they've mentioned the
identity
mother at all in this
Mrs.
entire series.
Afton?
Yes.
Ballora is motherly in a way that all the other animatronics aren't, with the mini Renas as her children. And she's
Why?
much
Those
older
things are
and
terrifying.
more mature
She's
looking
not that
robot than
scary.
Anything
The other things
that we've
are.
seen throughout the series. If this were truly the case, based on her song, it sounds like after the daughter done got herself scooped, William retreated into his work and probably a fair bit of child murder, hiding in his private room to bury his grief. That's what Ballora's line, hiding inside your walls, is
Oh.
referencing. It would also explain
She's
why
talking to
William
him.
has abandoned his other 2 sons by the year 1983, the time we see FNAF 4 roll around. He's too
Great.
grief-stricken, leaving the older brother to be the one
Well, I
to have
mean-
to take care of the crying child. Somewhere before
God, why is he
1983,
walking
his
like
wife
that?
leaves him, or dies, or
dies,
something.
or
It's not
something.
really that important. And Afton
And then she probably
preserves
gets
her
scooped.
memory inside the animatronic Ballora. And with that, another Afton.
Maybe she goes
buried
after.
in the basement.
Maybe she goes after
Brings us
Baby.
to 1983,
Or maybe
and
Baby
leaves the
talks
men
to
of
her
the
or talks her
household as
into
the
being
last
scooped
one
so they can be
standing.
together forever.
Crying child, older brother Michael, and the fate of
way
William.
he's
One
walking
gets
like
bit,
that.
one gets scooped, and one gets sprung. Ugh, I don't know, that sounds kind of bad. Regardless, the debate of whether
Is it
Michael
sprung?
or William
Or
is
is
the
it
true
spring?
purple
Kinda like
guy who ends
hang
up in
is-
Springtrap is part of next
somebody
week's
gets
video,
hung,
along with how we
they
know
get
that
hanged.
this is
That makes any
1983,
sense.
and my definitive answer on who the crying child becomes. So make sure you ring the subscription bell down
8
below
million
to
subscribers.
find out
Whew,
next week
that's
as
a
soon
lot.
as part 2 of this ultimate FNAF theory airs. Seriously, do it. Otherwise,
mean-
you'll never know how this series ends, and you'll forever be
It'll be
wondering
next
whether
week.
it's Will
Patrons are gonna
Trap
day
or
early.
Mike Trap, and then FNAF 6 will come out and everything will be all higgledy-piggledy. And as
Yeah.
a final treat for those of you who want to get
Wait, is
super
this-
nerdy about the series,
Oh, October
and need more
28th, wow.
clarity on these early controversial
That's why there's a
timeline
skilly guy down here,
placements,
because this video's going up in October.
If you look beyond just their fancier, more modern design, the evidence around the sister location animatronics points to them being earlier models. One detail
Yeah,
of FNAF 4
well,
that I've been
okay,
kicking around
well-
in my head for a year now is the canonicity of the Halloween update. In the
There's
update,
a
Scott
whole-
included 3 new characters, Nightmare Mangle, Nightmare Balloon Boy, and Night Marionette. The appearances of
Whoa,
Mangle and
whoa,
Marionette were
whoa,
both
whoa,
labeled
whoa,
as
whoa, whoa.
non-canon to the series, but things hit a wrinkle with Nightmare Balloon Boy because he
No.
was a pass. He was deemed
No.
canon.
Hard
That set off
pass.
huge red
No.
flags for me because it tells us
None
a
of
crucial
that.
detail. That by the time of FNAF 4, Mangle doesn't exist yet, and Crying Child hasn't seen the puppet, but Balloon Boy does exist and has been seen by little Jimmy Night Terrors over here.
Okay.
Logically, for Scott to officially say that Nightmare Balloon Boy
See,
is
that's
canon,
not
he
that
needs to have
bad.
predated the events
The
we see
puppet,
in
though.
FNAF 4. Balloon
Also
Boy had to be
Mangle,
around
just
prior to
no.
1983, which leads us to what we see and hear in Sister Location. Sister Location's location is full of humanoid robots, sharing
Yeah.
Laura and Baby, but there's also these little dolls that share a similar shape and visual style to Balloon Boy. Making it seem
Yeah.
like an earlier pizzeria had a more human theme than the Fazbear restaurant.
that's
That restaurant,
not-
I believe, was Circus Baby's Pizza World. Now, one thing I know
Circus
people are going to bring
Baby?
up in Sister Location, Hand Unit says,
Due to the massive success and even more so the unfortunate closing of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, it was clear that the stage was set, no pun intended, for another
pun
contender in children's entertainment.
hearing the location of Sister Location opened after Fazbear Pizza closed down would lead you to assume
No.
that the events of Sister Location are happening later.
This was
in
before the
timeline, and
internet,
you wouldn't
so
be wrong, they are. But Hand
people aren't
Unit's
gonna
talking about
know.
Circus Baby's entertainment and rentals. Baby and Ballora were built for Circus Baby's Pizza World, which, as I showed, came out long before that. This coincides with what we learned about Circus Baby's Pizza World in the pre-game teaser Scott released on Scott Games. Quote, the grand opening of Circus Baby's Pizza World has apparently been canceled due to reported gas leaks in the building.
Gas
There was only a handful of
leaks?
people
That
ever got to
sounds
look
like a
inside, kids
cover.
from here and there, end quotes. Obviously, this is all a cover-up for them actually closing the restaurant in the wake of Afton's daughter's death. That's beside the point. What's important here is that
Oh,
the
wow.
animatronics were built at an earlier time, clearly during a period when Rosy Cheeks got a big thumbs up in the design department and were then stored underground after opening day when Afton's girl got scooped. Some were
Okay.
kept in rotation, rented out for parties, which explains how Balloon Boy shows up in FNAF 2, while all the others got forgotten underground, only to be uncovered when Michael was sent to put them all back together.
Oh.
Wait, are you all still here?
Yes.
Good, because I have yet to say it. Remember,
Oh,
it's
just-
all just
got
a
it.
theory.
I don't-
A game
Was that Jack Spicy
theory.
Eye?
See you next week for the finale to my final FNAF theory.
The FNAF.
Well, at least final FNAF lore theory.
But
Suppose I can
until
do a science
there's
one
more.
If mood struck. And if there is eventually news for FNAF 6, I can do a predictive theory about it, I guess. By the
Which
way,
I'm
did
sure
you
he
hit that
does.
bell yet? You should to celebrate our 200th episode.
200th
Give or take
video,
1.5
that's-
or so.
you
But
know,
whatever,
there's-
this
these
one
videos are
feels
high
like a
quality,
big
so
event. And
that's a
finally,
big
you remember
significant.
my YouTube Red Series Game Lab? Another episode is free
Which,
for
that's
you to
last week's
watch
video,
right
link
now.
down below
No
in the
YouTube Red
description.
subscription required. Available internationally. No problems. Just click on it and watch. And it is,
So-
lo and behold, the FNAF episode.
So that was
Put
the
myself
free
as well as
episode. They
three
made it
other
with the
YouTubers through a
FNAF
real-life
video
version of the FNAF
to try and get
series.
people to watch the rest of it.
100% recreated too, like battery-powered doors and everything with limited energy. It's great.
Yeah.
Check out how I
Well-
do a real-life version of FNAF by clicking the box.
It was
to
a
the
struggle.
right. Now, if you'll excuse
Interesting
me,
video.
I need to go record part 2 of this episode, so that way you have it ready in time for next week.
Yes.
Not letting you down, not making you wait a questionable amount of time.
question-
Finale to this whole thing. We got this.
Questionable
It's gonna be a
amount-
good one.
Yes, and it will be out next Wednesday. I'll also be streaming my Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke today. I'm preparing for the Elite Four, so that's kind of crazy. Yeah, that'll be live streaming at 5 p.m. There's also gonna be a death battle that goes live probably at 4:30. I think it's gonna be the SpongeBob one, SpongeBob and Mermaid Man or Barnacle Boy, whichever one. I'm not really sure. It's gonna be an interesting death battle, but this, I actually believe this theory. I believe almost. I think all of it, honestly. There's none of this that I'm just gonna like, I don't think that's it, because I actually think a lot of that could be possible. That all makes sense to me. I definitely, like, before he even mentioned that the ballerina or Ballora was the mother, I could just tell by her voice, because I've never actually heard her voice before, I don't think. And I was like, yeah, that definitely sounds like a mother, and the fact that he was talking about the Acton family and had, like, the mother and the silhouette, I was like, we've never talked about her. So if Ballora is different, then Ballora being the mother would make a whole lot of sense. So maybe the daughter, like, talked to the mother through Baby and convinced the mother to get scooped. Maybe the mother had a terminal illness or something like that, or maybe the mother was just so overtaken by grief because her husband, her and her husband separated because her husband was consumed by the grief as well, which, you know, in situations like that, running off to cope with it on your own is not really, not always the best. So maybe that had something to do with it. I'm not really sure, but I look forward to the two. Wow, I look forward to the finale of this final theory, which is actually really good. I read every single one of your comments, leave them down below. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you for watching, but until next video, take care, and keep the music.
We were playing